Welcome back, guys. So last time we took a look at the new to me Mk4 Jetta, and other than deferred maintenance and wear and tear, there were three major issues I wanted to address, and that is the lack of exhaust, the power steering issues, and the tires. After that, we should be at least able to take it for a test drive.
One of the first things I want to address here is the power steering, because I'm not sure what is causing it. If it's the lack of fluid, if the fluid leaked out because there's a leak somewhere, if there's a bad pump. So I'm going to start by refilling the system and seeing if that helps. If that fixes it, nice easy fix. If not, I got to figure out what is causing it. Okay, so now we're just below max. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this loose on here. I'm going to start the car and start going full lock to make sure if there's any air bubbles in there, they get pushed out. That is like a milky, really aerated fluid now. So I don't know if that's just because there was that much air in the system or if that pump is just destroyed and doing that. So I'm gonna let it sit, let the bubbles go out, and I'll try it again and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so after letting it sit for a little while and all that bubbling subsiding, the fluid's back down so the dipstick can't even reach it. So my guess is the system was pretty dry, so I'm gonna keep filling it up. I don't see anything underneath leaking, so I have no reason to believe that the fluid's going anywhere but into the system. So I'm gonna keep adding it, going back and forth and trying to get everything situated. So, same thing, very bubbly. I'll let it sit again for a little while, but the fluid did go down again, so I think we're getting fluid into the system. Whether or not it'll stay into the system is another story. I had to do that like 3 or 4 times, but the fluid is no longer bubbly, and it's holding a constant level. And there doesn't seem to be any leaking down here. So, I might take it for a quick test drive and see if that fixed it. That would be wonderful if low fluid was the only issue.
So last time we found out why this car was so loud. The cat and everything is here, but it is not connected to the exhaust manifold because the downpipe completely rusted out. So I'm going to start by trying to get this flange off the exhaust manifold and go from there. And just you'd expect, all 4 studs snapped off. And even still, the flange is still stuck to the exhaust manifold. So I started cutting little notches into it. I tried to make it into 4 quadrants, see if I can get them off that way, but I'm being careful not to cut into the flange on the exhaust manifold side. And believe it or not, that worked. I got this part off in half and these 2 corners off, and we're good to go. So then I moved on to go to remove the cat, and look at this. Isn't that nice? This is the clamp that's on the back side of the cat that connects to the rest of the exhaust. So the stock exhaust, the downpipe, and the cat are actually one piece that you buy together. But since we already have the cat, I didn't want to spend the money on a new one, so I found this downpipe repair kit. But first we have to cut off the old flex pipe so the new one can match up to the right spot. Also, look at this. This was in the stock exhaust. Talk about a choke point. So with the old downpipe off, we're going to clean up the surface a little bit, and then just slide this piece right on and use a little U-clamp to connect it. And of course, here's the clamp for the back side of the cat. There's the old one, and there's the new one. So unfortunately, while I was drilling out the studs in the exhaust manifold, 2 of them got the threads damaged and I wasn't able to salvage it, so I just put through bolts in them. And while I was struggling with that, I got my new tires mounted. I decided to go a little lower profile on these new tires, and I'll admit, they do look a little silly on the stock 15-inch wheels. Alright, test drive's going good. Everything's working. Speedometer's a little off from those low profile tires, but other than that, doing pretty good. Got a little bit of an exhaust leak. It's probably where that new downpipe beats the cat. You know, those U-clamps never work that great, but I'd probably tighten it down, get that fixed. Was driving pretty good. The power steering fought me a little bit in the beginning on startup, and then it seemed to completely come loose and working fine. So I don't know if because it was cold or if there was another air pocket or something. I'll see what happens with that. Another thing I noticed is that on some of the tighter turns, you can hear the passenger side spring hanging up a little bit. You kind of get that spring release sound because it's probably binding on that bushing. It's probably not spinning freely at the top of the struts. Not the end of the world. I got to replace the suspension anyway, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so as I've been driving, first update, heated seats, working great. Very important. The headlight switch doesn't seem to do anything other than turn the dash lights on and off. My headlights are still on. So it just seems to do dash lights. I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but I'm thinking it was intentional since both headlights are staying on. It's not just one like it's shorted out or something, but I'll have to take a look and see why that might be happening. But otherwise, this thing is running and driving great. Few things got to address. Obviously still got to clean the thing, but so overall, I'm super excited, really happy with this. It's running, it's driving. It needs a few things here and there. Obviously needs to be cleaned too, but I got a new daily driver for now. It's awesome. Gives me some time to work on the truck, and I'm excited about it. So, till next time, thanks for watching.